All right, 7 minutes past 3 p.m. right here on Nigeria Info 95.1 Abuja. Hope that you are having a good Tuesday. Welcome. It's pretty sunny out there, so ensure that, as always, you are staying hydrated and in top shape. Just find a way to distract yourself whenever it is that you are getting into any bad mood whatsoever. Welcome to the show. This is Hard Facts right here on Nigeria Info 95.1 Abuja. My name is Itodo, and today we'll have a lot of conversations from the Roundtable up until we get to your eyewitness report. So I'm here up until 7 o'clock before I hand over to the football frenzy team. But I hope that you've had a good time listening to us from the morning crossfire with Femi D to what's happening in Abuja, the sunny side with Debs today. And I'm right here with you to ensure that you get your voices heard and also journey in some really important conversations. We're live right now on YouTube and Facebook at Nigeria Info Abuja. So you can go on there and watch and also join in, share your thoughts, opinions, and ensure that you keep it clean. Really, it's really important that while sharing your views or your opinions, you're not rude about it or disrespectful to anyone about it. And let's just get right and have a great time on the show today, okay? I've got Nsikak, fine face right here. That's his real name. I always say that so you don't think he is too proud, even though it's okay that he gets to that stage where he's really proud of the name. Yeah. But how are you? How's your week going so far?
It's
Good?
been smooth so far, and it's looking more like Nigerians have somehow gotten used to it.
No. Nobody's getting used to anything yet.
Yeah, well, we are praying for better days, but so far I think it's been okay. But I still feel that concerning the fuel issue, they need to look into the pump price. Probably 300 won't be bad. You know? Yeah, I think.
I hope they listen to you.
Yeah, of course they need to, because this has to do with Nigerians as a whole. Yeah, it's impacting negatively on Nigerians. I saw a report that fuel consumption has dropped from, I think, about 60 million to about 40 million. So if you look at it, it's obvious that most Nigerians are beginning to struggle, and it's not really good. As citizens of a country, I think Nigerians deserve, they deserve better. So it's necessary they look into it and find a solution. One would have expected that by now, pump price would have been reduced to maybe 350 or 300 at most. Some people are also suggesting 250 as well, but I think it's necessary.
The month is still really fresh, so with new products coming in and new players in the industry, we'll see how they're able to take advantage of the numbers and maybe draw more people towards themselves and reduce the tension and pressure of having to pay so much for petrol. But let's get some updates before we get into the roundtable real quick. The Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, has announced some standing committees. I would like to know if these committees are the juicy committees, because last time you were here, you spoke about that, and I'm really curious to know. We have the appropriations, public accounts, ethics, public petitions, and establishment. Now, Akpabio, who spoke at Tuesday's plenary session, revealed that Senator Solomon Adeola would chair the appropriations committee, while Senator Ahmed Wadada is to chair the public accounts committee. The Senate President also read a letter from the President addressed to the Senate seeking the confirmation of the recently appointed service chiefs. Now, he said the service chiefs will be screened by the entire Senate in the Senate chamber on a yet-to-be-announced date. And I'm just curious to know, what if one or many of them do not satisfy the questions or the scrutiny of the members? What would change?
I think nothing would actually change because from time we've seen this happen over. Some Nigerians feel like the whole screening process is just like a ceremonial kind of stuff because especially when you have a Senate where some people feel like their loyalty to the president outweighs their loyalty to Nigerians and Nigeria. So, and somehow it's looking that way because, if you look at the Senate president, it was actually said that he was the candidate of the APC. He was chosen by the party itself, and it looks more like Mr. President had, more interest in him becoming the Senate president. So if you look through this, and then, you talk about the service chiefs, they were appointed by Mr. President himself. And the Senate is actually loyal to Mr. President himself. So I just feel like it's just going to be a smooth process where they just.
No, but they've said that they're not going to be rubber stamp. He's made that
thing to say, and it's a different thing to actually not be rubber stamp. I mean, like the former Senate. We heard this, they kept on debunking news about them being rubber stamp, but at the end of the day, we saw how things played out. So, I mean, what do you expect? I think until we have a Senate president who's from maybe the opposition party, that's when you'll be able to have a Senate that is independent. But as long as you have a Senate where the Senate president and majority of the leaders of the Senate are actually from the ruling party, I think it will just be...
No, but just because you're from the ruling party doesn't mean you should dance to the tune of the ruling party if those decisions being made are not in the best interest of people who have elected you to be there.
I know we saw that during the 8th Senate that was led by Bukola Saraki. I mean, we saw how he was in term. But then some Nigerians would say he was actually kicked out because he ensured that they were not rubber stamped. So I think it just goes down to, appointing or electing people who think about Nigerians first of all.
But seeing that we find ourselves here right now, okay, what would happen? I just want to get like quick thoughts from you. What would happen if, for instance, the service chiefs, some of them are not able to defend the role they are playing right now? They're not able to convince enough. Do you think anything can be done in terms of replacing them?
I wouldn't think so, because like I said, they were already picked by Mr. President.
Okay, you already...
So it means he has absolute confidence in them. And for him to get to that point of, appointing them, it means maybe he's aware of their track record. He's been following their progress as well. Look at someone like Ribadu, for instance, chairman, he was the first chairman of the EFCC. And if you look at his track records, that maybe somehow you're unable to defend yourself when it comes to going through the screening process. I feel it shouldn't really hamper your chances of delivering at work. I know somehow in our system you need to make it through your interview first of all for you to be able to get a job.
Yeah, but now you've gotten the job before the interview.
Of course, yeah. So I feel like it's just more like a ceremonial thing. Just go there. They say it's screening. You'll be asked a few questions, and then that's it. Because they were already picked by Mr. President, so I don't think it's going to change anything.
All right. Others. Senators Simon Umankwan, Owewumi Olarere, and Darlington Nkocha, as well as Rufai Hangak. Also named the chairman and deputy chairman of the other special committees of the Senate. Now, speaking about the Senate, let's get into what the former president of Nigeria, Olusegun Obasanjo, is saying about their salary and how he isn't exactly impressed by the numbers. Now, former President Chief Olusegun Obasanjo on Monday faulted the salaries paid to members of the National Assembly. The former president noted that the salaries received by the members were not based on the recommendations of the Revenue Mobilization and Fiscal Commission. He lamented that most of those supposed to operationalize the Nigerian constitutions were the ones undermining the country's democracy. Now, Obasanjo said, and I quote, "By the Nigerian Constitution, the Revenue Mobilization and Fiscal Commission was supposed to fix the salaries and emoluments of the members of the National Assembly. But they set the Constitution aside and decided to fix their salaries." The former president made this known during an event that held in Ekiti State. Obasanjo said the citizens were meant to enjoy democracy, which he said could only be strengthened if the players respected and implemented the Constitution to the latter. And this would bring a lot of thought and uproar. As the numbers have constantly been in conversation as to the numbers being too much, the salaries being too much, and it would be great if it were reviewed or they were paid per seating, just so that people are not going there to relax, or it's not some sort of retirement home for previous public office holders, but then they're there to ensure that they live up to expectation. Now, going by what the former president, is saying right now, what are your general thoughts on this? Do you think it's high time we review these salaries, these numbers, to ensure that it maybe meets up to the expectation of the minimum wage? Because if a civil servant, minimum wage is 30,000 naira, so are you right there as a public office holder should also be on the same level until maybe that pushes you enough to want to increase and improve on the minimum wage?
Well, I kind of agree with the former president, Olusegun Obasanjo. I mean, if you look at what the senators and House of Reps member go home with, I think it's mind-blowing. In 2018, a former senator, he was a senator then representing Kaduna Central, Shehu Sani, came out to state clearly that they earn 13.5 million naira monthly in 2018. But then recently, the former president, Ahmed Lawan, actually came out to debunk that. He said that they actually earn for senators, they earn about 1.5 million naira per month. And then for reps members, they earn 1.3 million per month. And then he said the total of a member of the Senate is about 1.5, while that of reps, 1.3. So at the end, he said 13 million is being thrown into public space for a few years, in terms of monthly salary of a senator. But then if you put all this together and then you begin to wonder how much are civil servants actually earning in Nigeria when in a country where some states can't even pay minimum wage till today, in a country where you see workers being owed for months. I was shocked recently when I heard reports of a particular state that workers were being owed for 12 months. And I was wondering,
how are they supposed to go to the office every other day to deliver?
For 12 good months. And they have families, they have children and all that. So I think it's worrisome. And then if you put all this together, it's being said that senators actually earn as high as $52 million naira.
Every month or every year? Every year.
Yeah, and then House of Reps members actually go home with 32 million naira per annum. So if you put all these things together, I think there's need for it to be reviewed. I mean, if you look at our poverty index as a nation, in 2022, it was said that 63% of persons in Nigeria are living in abject poverty. I mean, look at some of the regions in our country today. You see poverty becoming the order of the day. There's a report that actually was brought out by the National Bureau of Statistics. It said that over half of the population of Nigeria living in multi-dimensional poverty. And they basically cook with firewood, charcoal, and some, so I think some of these things are worrisome. In Nigeria, 40.1% of people are poor, according to the 2018-2019 National Monetary Poverty Line, and 63% are in multi-dimensional poverty, according to the National Bureau of Statistics. So if you put all these things together, and then you now see those representing the same people that are poor, going home with about 50 million naira at the end of every year.
Allegedly.
Yes, allegedly. Yeah, I think it's worrisome. I think it calls for review. It calls for urgent attention. So I kind of support what the former president said. I think, and I think it's worrisome when they themselves are the ones actually, maybe deliberating on the amount they should be paid. And then I've also been someone who's been against people just going into maybe the Senate and the House of Reps and then spend 24 years. I think they should bring it
a timeline to it.
Yes, there should be a timeline. Okay, like governors, if you succeed well, you serve 2 terms, 8 years, and you're gone. I think we should have that in the Senate. So some people don't just feel like, okay, I mean, there's a former governor who said he was going to the Senate to go and rest. And then Nigerians started asking questions. You've served for 8 years as governor, and then you're going to the Senate and you're saying you're going to rest. And I can assure you that he may decide to spend 25, 26 years at the Senate.
And it takes us back to, going back by what the governor said, the former governor of, that was Ebonyi State, I believe.
Yes.
Going by what he said, it would take you back to what he achieved in the 8 years that he was governor, and that could give you an insight as to what he's going to achieve being in the Senate as well. But then it also brings to mind the fact that some governors, as a governor, you are entitled to certain things once you leave office. Your pension as an ex-governor. Once you go into another public office or you're holding another office, what happens to that pension? Do you drop it?
It keeps running.
Do you let it go and say, oh, I have a new office right now, I can't, eat my cake and have it? As the case is.
No, I don't think in this part of the world, I don't think they would say, okay, forget about.
No, but we've seen Benga Daniel
I was talking about Benga Daniel, but he only did that when he became senator. But I mean,
because he was from a governor, so you wouldn't have expected him to let it go when he wasn't holding any public office.
I think what he did is actually commendable, and I want to see more Nigerian politicians to that path. Yeah, I mean, the only person we know who decided to say, look, I'm not going to receive pension after he was governor was Mr. Peter Obi. After he was governor of Anambra State, and then he stepped aside after 8 years, and he said, look, I don't want anything. But I want to see more people emulate Peter Obi and the likes of Benga Daniel. Yes, it may not be convenient for you, it may not be comfortable, but then...
But how is it not convenient?
No.
You're still earning a living.
Of course, but then, it's I think it's become the norm in this part of the world where people feel entitled. Okay, I've ruled for 8 years and I'm stepping aside, and I think I deserve to earn this. I mean, recently in a particular state, I wouldn't want to mention the state, we saw a governor who was handing over, and he signed certain things into law. I mean, SUV should be given to him after every to former governors, I think after every 4 years, domestic staffs, and so in this part of the world, people just do some of these things and get away with it. But I think we need laws now that should be able to say, look, after you finish serving, because now you're not serving, when you're serving as governor, you're earning salaries, you're earning certain kind of pay. So it's not as if you're serving for free. So from the moment you cease to be governor, I think you shouldn't receive any other kind of financial compensation or whatever. I think it's necessary.
So once you're done, you're done?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, when a civil servant retires, maybe after 30 years, I mean, okay, he receives pension, but then how much is it? Can you even compare that to what some of these former governors go home with?
So would you say that the 10th Assembly is equal to the task of putting out laws that would ensure this is in place, wherein if you're an ex-governor, once you come to the Senate or any public office at all, you let go of that package?
I would say they are capable, but then who's the Senate President? Godswill Akpabio, former governor, two-time Akwa Ibom State. Who's the, I think the deputy majority leader is the former governor of Ebonyi State. So these are the same people that probably they are still getting this, this cash flow coming in and all that as ex-governor. So I think it would be an uphill task to have the same people coming in to say, you know what, let's put an end.
They can go on and change the narrative. I mean, lead by example as well. That's something that can happen. But you can join the conversation right now. This is a roundtable on hard facts at Nigeria Info Abuja. That's the Facebook and YouTube handle to search us on those platforms, and do well to follow and watch live. When we come back, we'll get you on the phone line to call in and also share your thoughts on the story that we have touched so far.
In the comfort of your home, on your way to work.
Nothing breaks the news like the news. Trust me, I can prove it. I do it every morning on Morning Crossfire from 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Nigeria Info 95.1, and I'm Femi D. Amede. Join the biggest conversation around the national politics every day in a way that is trustworthy, full of passion, and yes, covers the biggest politics and the stories that matter to you. See, you have all the reasons to find out what's going on in Nigeria and be engaged differently. Let's talk. That's the way to go, even this morning.
Hello, my name is Kimberly. I'm the host of Hard Facts, and I bring you the biggest stories driving conversation every weekday here on 95.1 Nigeria Info Hard Fact Show. I love to get your opinion and conjectures, but the facts you cannot dispute here on Hard Facts. Join me and let's talk.
This is Nigeria Info.
000-08095974869. You can also call on WhatsApp, send a message 08099930137. Do ensure when you call in, move away from your device, give your name, your location, and go straight to the point. Also ensure that you're not using any foul language when you are expressing your thoughts, and just give room for other people who want you notified to wrap up on your thoughts. Hello to you, Oludade Akeredolu on YouTube, as well as Ogolade Taiwo Johnson. Thank you so much for joining in. And Abiodun says, I concur with the former president. No man, National Assembly should do something about their spending. In fact, the cost of governance in Nigeria should be reviewed. That's what Akeredolu is saying right there. And Tokpe says, good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining in. Okay, you're asking about the list making rounds. If it's true, well, it hasn't been confirmed yet, Bishop Benji. I think it's a list making rounds about ministers, alleged ministers.
It's not been confirmed.
It's not been confirmed
it just
yet.
looks like some Nigerians are just trying to, I think it's also a strategy as well. You could see people from different camps trying to put suggestions and, because there's a way these things will keep on, making the rounds. And then somehow the people whose duty is to appoint these people will start saying, okay, maybe, I think it's just a strategy.
Because the APC chairman has called on the president to ensure that he carries the party along in his nomination list for ministers. So that's to show that everyone cannot be minister. It's not possible. But then again, it's important that the right persons are put into those positions.
It's about putting the right
competent people.
Yeah, competent. Yeah, but then my worry is, we've seen the same people who's been around. For instance, some of the people in the APC, some of them were of the PDP before. They now switched camp to the APC in 2015 or 2014, and then so it just looks like we still have the same people that have been in governance. Say 16 years of PDP. Some of them are in the APC now, and at the end of the day, the same caliber of people may still end up being appointed. So it's just like putting new wine in old bottles and expecting a brand new result. I see it that way. So some Nigerians are beginning to say, look, it's still the same people.
But wouldn't you say some old wines come with better taste?
Of course.
Over time.
But then over time, so it's we've also seen that some of the old wines somehow have been unable to deliver as well. Look at the previous 8 years. We still had some of these same people in sensitive positions, and then we are still talking about poverty, unemployment. We are still battling insecurity and oil theft as we speak today. So so some Nigerians just feel like it's still the same people. And Nigerians would want to see maybe some Nigerians in the diaspora doing well, coming back to say, okay, you are appointed. Let's have a blend.
Try a different approach.
And then a few of the old people we know.
Okay, let's get to the phone lines right now. 0700 951 0000. 080-9597-4869. Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Welcome to you.
Mr. Itodo.
How are you? What's your name?
My name is Comrade Salisu.
Welcome to you, Salisu. Go ahead, please.
Thank you. My take about Obasanjo, what he's saying, is the right direction, but when I see the time of Obasanjo time, when I visit House of Assembly, some of my friends House of Representatives and Senate, when I visit them, when I go there, sometimes I'll visit them more than 4 or 5 times. People are from there, they are giving them 50,000. This is people are from village, so they are giving them money. Where the money from? I don't know. Even when I visit them, they'll give me sometimes 300,000. I even visit them sometimes 1 month, 3 times, 4 times, they'll give me 150 dice.
So for every time you visited, you got something. You got some cash reward or some cash gift.
So I don't know where the money from. So the money are sharing like that.
Did you ask? Did you bother asking when you got the money to know where it's from?
Because when they are giving, it's not only me. I'm there. When they come, they say, I'm going, sir. They say, okay, go. The rest of people are going to dance there, get some money to go. They'll get 50, they'll get 50, 50, 100. Like that, people are coming from the village.
All right, comrade.
Get the money now. Where the money from as of that time? Even now, today now, I'm telling you now, it's going to be worse than before.
What?
And I believe all these senators you are seeing, the former governor, former minister, they are not coming to helping us at all. When you look into it, they are not helping us.
All right, comrade.
Before we can get good person to help Nigeria, maybe we select good leader. The people, all of them, they are from the state. They will fight the state. There's problem. They will use the pressurized the place to get on top.
All right, comrade.
To give and to make sure the people who vote in and get the right people to come to the representatives.
All right, comrade. Thank you. Welcome to you.
Good evening.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Welcome.
Collins from Mina.
Welcome, Collins. Go ahead.
Speaking about Obasanjo, I think he's not in the best place to talk about review of the practices or the conduct of the senators. Because if you check history, Obasanjo himself was actually going for a third term. He was actually trying to benefit more from the system. So he's trying to label a group of people for doing something that he was once guilty of. In the history of Nigeria's, democracy, he has been the only president that did that or that attempted that, and it didn't work out. So Obasanjo is saying this now. He must be saying the right thing, but I don't think he's the right person to be saying it.
All right.
I think that's my take.
All right, Collins.
Thank you.
Welcome to you. Sorry about that. Do want to call back? You can call 080-9993-0137 either via the WhatsApp voice call option, regular call, or send a message. Welcome to you. Good afternoon.
Hello, Mr. Itodo. Good afternoon.
Yes, welcome.
I agree. The guest in the studio. Femi is my name. Good afternoon, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes,
yeah, I agree with everything you said. See, our problem in this country, I want to react to the fact that what we have are old people recycling themselves in the corridor of power. And when we are suffering all these things, we will still be the one to defend them and say they are experienced. They are experienced people. We should have them with this. We don't need that. They said the experience. The so-called experience is what led us to where we are today. I don't know the experience they are bringing. I really don't know. Please, these people, some of them, they are in their 60s, some in their 70s, and they say we are leader of tomorrow. When we the leader of tomorrow assume office, I don't know. Please, Itodo, help us ask them. They should give us a space. They should give us chance. Please.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Femi, for sharing your thoughts. Welcome to you. Good afternoon. Yes, good afternoon. Very well, thank you. How are you?
Good afternoon, my guest.
Go ahead, Adewumi.
My brother, I want to say something. Here that the world democracy is better than military. Only I believe it.
Adewumi, your connection is not exactly great. Do you want to call a different number? But we can barely make out what you're saying. If you can, please do all to call back, all right? So we can make out everything you're saying. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon. My name is Musa.
Welcome to you, Musa. Good afternoon.
Yes. So sometimes, like in respect to the confirmation of the service chief and the MSA, sometimes the kind of praises, they praise all these appointments made by this current government that on merit or merit. Like Ribadu, who retires an AIG, the kind of pedigree they say about him. The former NSA, Major General Mugono, go and check his track record. Go and look at the school this man attended. Look and see his performance in intelligence. He retired as the Director of Defense Intelligence. So security of this our country is not all about all these stories we say. Like Major General Chris Musa, the Chief of Defense Staff. If you see how the kind of praises they say they have done the right, this and the right, how is he better than Irabo? You know? So these are all people that were picked from the same line of operations in the army. Therefore, I'm only saying here that we in Nigeria, we must have to assist these people to deliver. But the way we used to say it, I think this set crop of selection, they are the best. I think they pick them from, they are coming from the same field of operations, you know. So I just want us to encourage and I support the army for them to succeed. Not looking at it as if, because probably the Western press, or probably because the president is coming from there, they seem to be having a field day and a honeymoon, the best side on Mary. No,
all right.
No, let's wait and see, please. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Welcome to you.
Afternoon.
Good afternoon.
The number one celebrity personality online on my the job. The king don't scatter my brain. Good afternoon, sir.
That's okay. Welcome to you.
I remember almost several work at Alekit and calling from PW Kuba. Mr. Itodo and our respected guests in the studio.
You see, I'm an advocate of separating the message from the messenger. You understand what I'm saying? It doesn't matter where the message is coming, as long as it has meaning and it has direction. Understand? I don't care who is saying it. Mr. Itodo, you will agree with me and our respected guest that several Nigerian youth, many of us have not demonstrated the character, we have not demonstrated the readiness like most of this older generation. Our own not to get money, Japan, not to get money, impress, you understand? That ability, that character to deliver, that character to show that the country first and foremost, honestly, the older generation, despite the blame we have always put to their doorstep, have demonstrated the love for the country more than us. I have several examples to give, but for the benefit of time, let me allow it to lie low. Many younger Nigerians that are less than 50 that have been given opportunity, how many of them have made you proud as a youth? Please list just 5 that are, let me say, 50 is too much. On below 40 that have been given opportunity, how many have made you proud? If we talk on the solid, give you opportunity, you do worse. Thank you for the wonderful opportunity. Thank you, sir.
All right, Babaka. Welcome to you. Good afternoon. All right, do all to call back if you can. Let's see who we have here right now. Good afternoon to you.
Hello, good afternoon.
Welcome.
Yeah, my name is Neska Samuel. So, listening.
Hello, Samuel, are you there?
To
Samuel, what's happening with your connection? Are you there?
People,
All right, sir, we have to let you go. It's hard to make out what you're saying. You can do all to call back and you'll be able to hear what you have to say. But let's move on to our next story right now. After a few messages on WhatsApp, Wale from Kuje says, in the public service, this does not permit anyone to receive, or did not permit anyone to receive double remuneration from government. We have such laws that say a former governor now, as in another government appointment, any remuneration that comes in due to their previous position should be stopped. But such laws are kept in the background by those who ought to implement them. And Belumi from Wusetu says, on Obasanjo's comment, we can take the message and ignore the messenger because OBJ might not be in a position to speak on morality and governance. Everything wrong with our democratic system has the trappings which he may have started and perfected, but the good and the bad aspects of democracy. During this time, or his time, he... Okay. All right. And Chief Jack Gum from 11 says, your guest is surprised by the governors owing salaries for 12 months. Please, sir, my former governor from Benue told civil servants about 2 years for 3 years, 7 months, and has left the current governor now with about a loan of 186 naira. It's really sad. Well, next for fuel smuggling, Adamu, who said there were still cases of smuggling of premium motor spirits, popularly called petrol, at Nigeria's border stations. Despite the removal of subsidy on the commodity, said the agency had adopted a new border patrol strategy to close in on oil thieves. Now, he made the disclosure on the sidelines of a sensitization workshop on the Nigeria Customs Service Act 2023 for management staff of the NCS in Abuja. He also spoke as the NNPCL on Monday, said it had intercepted a suspected Cameroon-bound vessel with a cargo of crude oil on board. That's also making conversation right now. But before we get into that vessel, let's have you react to our borders and how over time we've always heard reports of how porous they are. We do not have enough men to man the borders, and the smuggling activity is still ongoing, it's still thriving, it's still doing well. But with the removal of subsidy, the expectation was this would somewhat reduce oil thieves and the smuggling of petrol. And we also saw a bit of got a bit of feedback that other countries were also having issues in terms of the pricing of their petrol. But right now we still have the same issue reoccurring, and it just goes to show that whatever plans were put in place, they have to be changed with the new crop of people that we have in government.
Like I said the last time on this platform, for Nigeria to be able to make progress in all spheres, the first thing we need to do is to fix the issue of insecurity. Look, if our borders are not properly secure, we can never make progress. That's just it. Because I mean, you were talking about smugglers and all that. If we have adequate security, I don't think we would be able. But then sometimes the question asked by Nigerians is this: we have one of the best militaries, not just in Africa but in the world. So what's now the major element that has now posed a major threat to being able to secure borders and all that? So there's an argument that sometimes those involved in some of these smuggling issues are part of those who are supposed to be the ones ensuring adequate security in our borders. I mean, sometimes we've seen reports of certain officials being involved in this process, in oil theft, in smuggling and all that. So I think it's an issue of looking inward as well. Who are these security people? Okay, the customs. What caliber of custom officials do we have? The police. Because sometimes for you to be able to smuggle something, successfully, you need someone who's within, yeah. So it doesn't just happen. Like sometime, I think last year, when we were talking about oil theft, I mean, a particular vessel was approached, and then it was the people that were, arrested, and then the vessel was destroyed.
Said to be destroyed.
Yes, and then we didn't hear anything about that. But for that kind of vessel to be able to move freely on our waterways, it means that certain people in authority are involved. And I remember a particular presidential candidate during the primaries. I mean, he made statement of this, that for oil theft to thrive, it means that certain people are involved, some people in authority. So I think it's time to look inward. I mean, let's look at our security apparatus. Who are these people involved? Who are the people manning our borders? Until we get this right, I think we'll still battle. So, like I said the other time, we need to fix the issue of insecurity first of all. If we are to properly, bring an end to smuggling, oil theft and all that, we need to fix insecurity. Until we do that, it's not just about removing fuel subsidy. It's not going to bring an end to anything. I mean, look at this report now. Now, between March 2022 to March 2023, about 65 million barrels of crude has been lost by Nigerians. Now, a barrel of crude, for instance, is being sold at $83. Per barrel. So it means that between 2022 and 2023, we've lost about 2.3 trillion naira to oil theft between March last year and now.
Now, you said something about looking inwards, and I want to really understand if this is a fair way to handle such situations, because they've also mentioned illegal refineries being destroyed, about 77 of them. And to think that we are looking for ways to fix our refinery, but then when we find these refineries which are illegal and maybe not safe in the context of it, we destroy them as opposed to looking for other ways to utilize them in the best way possible. There's also 64 illegal crude joints found, and the 800,000 liters of vessel laden with stolen crude has also said to be destroyed. Is destruction the only way to teach these people lessons, or are there better approaches to this? Because these things are destroyed, then what's next?
I think there should be a better approach. Like somehow it's been alleged that it's been destroyed, but have you actually showed Nigerians the vessel and say, okay, this is it? How about those involved in this? They should be paraded, and then they should also mention names, because look, a common man can't just go into oil theft or illegal refining oil illegally. A common man can't just do that. It takes someone who has the financial ability to be able to back them up. So yes, you've arrested these people, you've destroyed the vessel. Let's see photos of before and after. In fact, let's see the videos of you destroying it. Let's parade the people involved.
But my concern is the destruction. Why do we destroy things that are wrong? I don't know other approaches or strategies
we can also put it to
teach
use.
them a lesson.
Yeah, of course. But I feel like as a way of bringing an end to the illegal oil theft and all that, somehow they feel like it's okay to destroy. But I don't really want to focus on destroying it. But then let's know those involved. Remember recently, someone from the Niger Delta came up and said, "Look, he made mention
he pointed fingers at people.
Yes, at certain people being involved." So that's why I said we need to look inward. Sometimes we could feel like we are fighting a particular war, but you don't know that your enemy is even within. It's someone inside your own house. So I think we need to look inward. What's the caliber? Because one of the major problems we have in our nation today is that of greed. If you look through all the agencies we have, all the let's say security apparatus we have in our nation, some of them are not properly funded, some are not properly paid. So everyone is in a hurry to make quick cash. So that's why I said a major problem is that of greed. So sometimes you even find people in position to enforce the law also compromising because they also want to benefit from the system. So that's why I said it's time to look inward. Let's begin to check ourselves. Who are those in charge of security? Who are those in charge of protecting pipelines and all that? I mean, recently, sometime last year, we got a report that someone in Niger Delta who runs a private security outfit was given the contract to be able to secure pipelines. But
that's been the news for the longest.
Yeah, some Nigerians were asking questions. So what then happens to our security operatives? Is it that they are not capable or they do not have the equipment or the manpower to be able to do this? So we need to.
So it raises more questions as to what exactly we're doing wrong.
What exactly is happening? So I just feel like we need to look inward. But then in 2022, the former NSA, Major General Babagana Mungunu, retired, had set up a special investigative panel on oil theft and losses in Nigeria. And according to their report, they stated clearly that oil theft was attributed to the case of crude oil racketeering, to lack of proper reporting of crude oil production, illegal refining, thefts from wellheads, and diversion from sophisticated pipeline networks.
I mean, we heard about that pipeline which was found after many years, and it raised a lot of questions. But then, did we see anyone getting punished from that happening?
That's what I spoke about now.
Yes.
If you say, okay, we've discovered illegal pipelines, there are people involved. Now, who are these people? And who are the people backing these people? Because it's impossible for a common man to be able to go all out to vandalize pipeline without the support of someone up there. So I just feel like some people are afraid of their names making the rounds, like, okay, this is the person behind this. So because of that, yes, a vessel, they've arrested them. They're in a hurry to destroy the vessel, and you just discover that the case has been.
So do you feel like until those people are pointed out and maybe made known to the public, things will just stay the same way?
Yes, until we get to that point that we say, okay, these are the people sponsoring these people. You bring them out and you put them through the process, probe them, and if found guilty, persecute them. That's when we'll have an end to this. But as long as we keep on hiding their identity, it will keep on lingering.
There isn't a worry that those people who are going to be persecuting them might also stand a chance to being exposed? Could that be the circle that we're going through right now? That's stopping things from changing.
I think it's all about sanitizing the entire system. So if those that are to persecute them also have,
skeletons.
Yes, they also have to be persecuted. Until we keep on doing this, that's when we'll get it right. But as long as we just keep on saying, okay, oil theft, vessel was discovered, it's been destroyed, I feel...
I will wait for the next one to be destroyed, found and destroyed as well.
I think it will just keep on lingering on and on. But proper persecution, if you arrest certain people, who is behind you? Who's funding you? They mention names, you arrest them. If the persecutor is also engaged in it, also arrest them and probe them.
All right, folks, the CAC, find, arrest, prosecute if found guilty. And, that would be a good way to handle whatever it is that we are currently facing with oil theft. But let's get your feedback to this. We've got a few minutes before we go on a break. And then Abuja today at 4 p.m. We spoke about the National Assembly being a huge unconstitutional. Their pay not being constitutional and immoral, according to the former president Olusegun Obasanjo, as well as fuel smuggling persisting in borders despite subsidy removal, as well as the destruction of the 800,000 liters vessel recently found. So let's get some thoughts on that real quick. Welcome to you. Are you there?
Mr. Itodo?
Yes, you already called. Can we give way to others to also call as well, Babaka?
No, this is a different topic too now.
Yeah, it is, but still. Okay, I'll give you 1 minute. Go ahead, 60 seconds. Let's go.
All right. Isn't it? My name. I remember myself, Abubakar Ali, aka Tinubu Pekin, calling from PW Kubwa. Isn't it laughable, embarrassing, unbelievable, unacceptable that a vessel that carries that volume of crude has been using our waterways for the past 12 years undetected? Habamana. Why do we do this? When other countries look at us, they will just laugh. They will say, these guys are not serious. I don't think these people are serious. Mr. Itodo, is it possible for a Chenu to be passing that route for 12 years and not being detected? A lot of people are involved in this. And no wonder they hurriedly destroy any evidence that will point to whosoever has hand in it.
All right.
But that's not the end. They can escape us here, but they will not escape God. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Welcome to you. Are you there? Good afternoon. All right. Phone lines having a mind of their own right. Now, let's see what you are saying on WhatsApp right now. Does it mean if Obasanjo made some mistakes while he was in office and now seeing the need to amend it, is that wrong? AM Omoba from Kaduna Road asking that question right there. Joseph Onuche from New Jerusalem, Dutse, says, I'm really impressed with what Abubakar just said. Honestly, he has spoken my mind, and that is the reality. Israel says, if Obasanjo shouldn't be the one to tell us, according to them, do they know this? Okay. Or we should just keep driving blindly till we crash totally as a nation. Sentiments have consumed some people so much that they don't even want to see any opportunity from one suggestion. And that's what Israel is saying. Banki in Otako says, I agree with Obasanjo that legislatures should not fix their salaries, but experience is needed. I would like to see them... Okay. I would like to see several people who spend several years in the National Assembly. I don't understand what that means, Banky, but thank you for your thoughts. We need to go on a break right now. When we come back, the roundtable continues.
Allow us to save you the stress.
This is Nigeria Info.